Welcome back. Let's do question 6. Given f of x is equal to sine 2x and g of x is equal to cos x plus 45 degrees for this domain, we are required to sketch the graphs of f and g on the same set of axes, right? And then we're required to label all the intercepts with the axes and also the turning points and end points. All right, there are many ways we can sketch our graphs, but the first one that I want to show you is the use of the calculator. We can easily use the calculator to find our critical points and then use our critical points to sketch the graphs. Right, but before we use the calculator, we need to find especially the steps that we're going to put in the calculator. How do we do that? Just remember this. Take this as a formula. Steps or step will be period divided by 4. Okay, remember that. So now for this function f of x, it's in the form sine kx. Remember the period for such a function is what? Period is equal to 360 degrees divided by k. So in this case our k is 2. So it means that the period is equal to 360 degrees divided by 2, which is 180 degrees. Okay. And then now, how do we find the steps? Then we say step is equal to 180 degrees, which is the period, divided by 4. And then we get 45 degrees. Okay, so it means the steps that we're going to use for this f of x is 45 degrees, right? And then for g of x, the period is 360 degrees. Okay, and then we're going to divide by 4 and then find that the step should be 90 degrees, isn't it? But now, if we check, 45 can easily get into 90. So having a step of 45 degrees will not affect this one. We're covered. So we're going to use the step of 45 degrees for both functions. Right, now let's go to the calculator. Right, this is how you can find your critical points by using the calculator. You press mod here, then you look for the table. In other calculators, table will be number 3, but in this calculator it's number 7. So you press table, and then you can put the first function, which is sine 2x. So put sine, and then 2, then alpha, and then x, like that. Okay, and then we put our second function, which is cos x plus 45. So you press alpha, and then put your x here, and then plus 45. Then you close the brackets and then equals. Right, we're starting at negative 90, so you enter negative 90. Right, we're ending at 180 degrees, so enter 180 degrees. And then our step, we say that our step is 45, so enter 45 and then equals. So these are the critical points that you can have, and you can use these critical points to sketch your graphs. Okay, this column is for f of x, and then this column is for g of x. So you can scroll till you get to 180, then you can plot these points. The coordinates are there in the nest table. We're going to use our nest table to sketch. Right, these are the values that we managed to get for our two functions. Let's start by sketching f of x. All right, at negative 90, f of x is at 0, so it's here. At negative 45 degrees, f of x is at negative 1, so it's here. And then at 0 degrees, f of x is at 0, is here. And then at 45 degrees, f of x is at 1, so it's here. Then at 90 degrees, f of x is at 0, so it's here. And then at 135 degrees, f of x is at negative 1, so it's here. And then at 180 degrees, f of x is at 0, is here. And then we can sketch our graph. This is f of x. That's our graph, f of x. Okay, right. And then let's sketch g of x. At negative 90, g of x is at 0,7, so it should be somewhere here. And then at negative 45, g of x is at 1, so it should be here. At 0, g of x is 0,7, so it should be here somewhere there. And then at 45 degrees, g of x is 0, somewhere here. And then at 90, g of x is negative 0,7, so it should be somewhere here. And then in 135, g of x is negative 1, so it's here. and then at 180 g of x is negative 0.7, so somewhere there, that's 180 degrees, negative 0.7, right? And then remember the endpoints, we have to indicate them. Here is negative 90 degrees and then 0.7. Okay, then you can easily sketch the graph of g of x. This is the graph of g of x. This is how we can sketch using the calculator. Here also indicate the y-intercept. The x-intercepts are very clear. Okay, but we can also use the parent graphs like this one here. We can sketch this from the graph of y is equal to sine x, and then this one we're going to sketch the graph from y is equal to cos x. Let's start with f of x. We know the graph of y is equal to sine x starts at 0, then at 90, 180, 0. We know these critical points, isn't it? And then we can easily sketch the graph of y is equal to sine x like that, right? And then what is the difference between this and this? Is that here we have 2 here. The value of k is 2. What does it do? It reduces the period. You say 360 degrees. The period there, 360 degrees divided by 2 is 180 degrees. So the period is reduced. So it means now, instead of the graph turning at 90, it's going to turn at 45. Instead of x-intercept being 180, is going to be 90, like that. So the period is reduced like that. You see that? And then here we have the graph like that, and then like that. You see that? Then the period is reduced because of the 2 there. So we can easily sketch the graph of f of x from its parent graph. Okay, just remember the effects of the parameters. This is f. And then what about g of x? G of x, we know that the graph of cos y is equal to cos x starts at 1 there, and then 90, and then 180 like that, and then it will be like that. This is the graph of y is equal to cos x, and then the graph of g of x is equal to cos x plus 45. What is happening to this blue graph? It is shifted to the left. It is shifted to the left by 45 degrees. So every point moves by 45 degrees to the left. So this point will move and is here. This point will move is now here. This point will move is now here. You see that every point moves by 45 degrees to the left. Now we just need to get our endpoints. Just calculate the endpoints. I'll show you how to do that. And then this goes like this, and then this is the graph of g. Okay, this is the graph of g, and then you can easily calculate the endpoints and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept here, where there's x here, put 0, then cos 45, you'll get 0.7. Use your calculator. And then for this one here, where there's x, just say cos negative 90 plus 45. Where there's x, put negative 90, you get 0.7. Negative 90 degrees, 0.7. Again, when you come here, where there's x, put what? 180 degrees plus 45. You'll get what? Negative 0.7. So 180 degrees, then negative 0.7. That's what I'm going to get. Make sure the endpoints are clearly indicated, and the x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Okay, right. This is how you sketch the graph. And then we go to the next question now. It says determine the values of x in this domain where f of x is equal to g of x. So these are the points of intersection. Actually, one of the solutions must be 135 degrees. Okay, so what do? We just equate these two functions, so it becomes sine 2x is equal to cos x plus 45 degrees. Okay, then we're solving an equation here. We're solving a trig equation, right? So we have sine 2x here and cos x plus 45 degrees. We have to make these things to be the same. Maybe cos something is equal to cos something, or sine something is equal to sine something. So you have to remember the core functions here. Remember, sine theta is equal to cos 90 degrees minus theta. Remember that, okay? So we're going to use that here so that we change this to cos. So it's cos 90 degrees minus 2x. is equal to cos x plus 45 degrees, like that. And then we are finding this. This is like our subject, and then we are arc cosing. The cos, they do not cancel each other like we are multiplying or dividing. No. So we arc cos both sides. That's the inverse of cos. So 90 degrees minus 2x is equal to arc cos, and then cos x plus 45 degrees, like that. Okay, and then arc cos x plus 45 degrees, it becomes just x plus 45 degrees. And then this is like our reference angle. 90 minus 2x is equal to x plus 45 degrees. This is like our reference angle, x plus 45 degrees. Remember, if we're dealing with cos for our general solutions, theta will be called positive or negative reference angle, then plus 360 degrees times k, where k is an integer. So we're using that. So it's going to be this as the subject. 90 degrees minus 2x is equal to positive or negative, our reference angle, x plus 45 degrees, then plus 360 degrees times k, where k is an integer. Let's start with the positive one. So it's going to be 90 degrees minus 2x is equal to x plus 45 degrees, then plus 360 times k. We know that k should be an integer. Then negative 2x minus x, that is negative 3x, is equal to 45 minus 90, that is negative 45 degrees. And then plus 360 degrees times k. All right, then we divide everything by negative 3. So x is equal to 15 degrees plus 120 degrees. I think you're wondering now, why am I saying plus 120 degrees? Because I'm dividing by negative 3. Right, remember we're saying k is an integer. So k can be, let's say for example, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. It goes on like that. If I had written it like this, if I had said x is equal to 15 degrees minus 120k, right? For example, negative 1 was going to make this one positive, then 1 was going to maintain the sign. So it's still the same thing here, because 1 will maintain the sign and negative 1 will change the sign and make it negative. So it doesn't change anything if I say positive there. And then remember 1 from negative 90 to 180. So you can substitute your integers and check. Substitute negative 2, substitute negative 1, substitute 0, substitute 1, substitute 2, like that. But if you substitute 0, that's when we get the value which is in this domain. So we get that x is equal to 15 degrees if k is equal to 0. If k is 1, what are we going to get? Oh, if k is 1, we'll get 135, yes. Or x is equal to 135, okay, degrees, right? But remember, we just got this using the positive one. We need to use the negative one also. Let's do that. So we say this is 90 minus 2x is equal to, now we're using the negative one, x plus 45 degrees, then plus 360 degrees times k, where k is an integer, right? So we can remove the bracket here. 90 minus 2x is equal to negative x minus 45 degrees, and then plus 360 degrees times k, right? This gives us negative x, and then is equal to negative 135 because of this, and then plus 360 degrees times k. Similarly, I will just maintain the positive sign here, although I'm dividing by negative 1. So it's x is equal to 135 degrees, then plus 360 degrees times k. I explained this in the previous one. So we can substitute our negative 1, negative 2, 0, 1, 2. If we substitute 0, that's when we get x is equal to 135, right? And then if you substitute the other integers, we won't get the answers in this domain, right? So basically we found that x is equal to 15 degrees or x is equal to 135 degrees. This is the 15 degrees here, okay? We don't know the y, and then here this is 135 degrees. We know that the y is negative 1. Now the next question says Use the graph to determine the values of x for which f of x is greater than or equal to g of x. So they are equal at this point. You say this is 15 degrees, then this is 135. So these are the 2 points where the graphs are equal. But where is f of x greater than or equal to g of x? Where is f of x above g of x? That's what it means. So it means this part here, this is where the graph is above g of x. That's where f of x is above g of x. So between 15 and 135 degrees. But now let's check again. Even here, it is still above g of x. So we're including this. Okay, so it's between 15 and 180 degrees. Why are we including this point? Because it says greater than or equal to. At 135, they are equal, so it's included. So we're saying from 15 degrees to 180 degrees. Included because it says greater than or equal to. So it means x element of 15 degrees, 180 degrees included. That's why we're using what? The square brackets there. We can say x less than or equal to 180 degrees, but greater than or equal to 15 degrees. That's another way of writing it. And then 2 says where f of x times g of x is less than 0. So we're saying where f of x may be positive and g of x negative, because less than 0 means negative. Positive times negative will give us negative, right? Or where f of x is negative and g of x is positive. You see that? So we're looking for that. The functions change their signs at the x-intercepts. So we have the x-intercept here. We have another one there. Yeah, we have that. So let's check this part here. This is positive because it's above the x-axis. Remember, when the graph is above the x-axis, it means greater than 0 is positive. When it's below the x-axis, is less than 0 is negative. Right, this one is negative. So we want this part between negative 90 and 0. Oh, there's another x-intercept here. There's another x-intercept here, 45 degrees. Right, and then from 0 to 45 degrees, this is positive, this is positive. Both of them are above the x-axis. So it's out. Positive times positive will give us an answer which is greater than 0. And then between 45 and 90 degrees, right, this one is positive, f of x, g of x is negative. Right, we want this part. So it's going to be that. And then from 90 to 180, negative, negative. This will give us positive, so it's out. So now it means our x, an element of negative 90 not included to 0 not included. Okay, and then the other part you said from 45 to 90. So from 45 to 90, so this is union, and then 45 degrees, x is greater than 45 degrees but less than 90 degrees. That's where f of x times g of x will give us an answer which is negative. Right, and then you can write it like this also, negative 90 less than x and x less than 0. Or you can say x greater than negative 90 but less than 0, still fine. Or we have x greater than 45 degrees but less than 90 degrees, like that. Okay, you can write it like this.